walks away from a flourishing career and good money? What if life's most delightful moments don't happen in the spotlight? How do you support your family well and slow down? How do you answer your critics when you choose a different way to do life? And how can you find and live a recovered life? A couple of months ago, I set aside everything, picked up this book, The Ruthless Elimination of Hurry, and began to read. Just a few chapters to say I got started. Well, a few hours later, I put the book down with a deep sense of conviction and rightness in my spirit. It was time for a change. So whoever recommended The Ruthless Elimination of Hurry by John Mark Comer, thank you. While reading this book, I discovered many parallels to recovery. Now, that's not really the book's intent, and we'll get to those parallels in just a moment. But author John Mark Comer wrestled through these questions, the ones that I said at the beginning. While he might be 30 years younger than I, his struggle resonates. In the book, he says, Jesus' invitation is to take up his yoke, to travel through life at his side, learning from him how to shoulder the weight of life with ease, to step out of the burnout society to a life of soul rest. Does that resonate with you? Like Comer, I want the Jesus life. Now let me rephrase that. I need the Jesus life. But to get that, I must accept Jesus' invitation. That sounds simple, doesn't it? In Matthew 11:28 through 30, Jesus offers, "Are you tired, worn out, burned out on religion? Come to me. Get away with me, and you'll recover your life. I'll show you how to take a real rest. Walk with me and work with me. Watch how I do it. Learn the unforced rhythms of grace. I won't lay anything heavy or ill-fitting on you. Keep company with me, and you'll learn to live freely and lightly." How well do I live the unforced rhythms of grace? Why do you often feel like life is hard or unbearable? When Jesus says he doesn't lay anything heavy or ill-fitting on you and me, why do we feel like he does? Perhaps, as Comer says, it's because we want the life of Jesus, but we haven't adopted the lifestyle of Jesus. Becoming more like Jesus means leaving behind some of our pet comforts and habits and choosing to pursue those that bring the lifestyle we desire. I love hearing stories of Olympic athletes who, along with their families, overcame great odds to reach the Olympic level. As a little girl, I loved ice skating, and I often dreamed of figure skating someday in the Olympics. But that desire wasn't strong enough to leave behind my other interests and desires. It's one thing to observe another's way of life, and quite another to adopt their lifestyle. As Comer says, I run a cost-benefit analysis and quickly decide it's not worth the pain. I'm going to read to you from Mark 1:32 through 37, and Comer addresses this passage in this book as well, and this just hit me as it pertains to recovery. That evening after sunset, the people brought to Jesus all the sick and demon-possessed. The whole town gathered at the door, and Jesus healed many who had various diseases. He also drove out many demons, but he would not let the demons speak because they knew who he was. Very early in the morning, while it was still dark, Jesus got up, left the house, and went off to a solitary place where he prayed. Simon and his companions went to look for him, and when they found him, they explained, "Everyone is looking for you." Well, let's break this down as it pertains to recovery. The first point. Jesus worked hard. When I get to dinner time every day, I'm pretty much done. My physical and mental energy feels tapped out. But the first thing I notice in this passage are the words, "that evening after sunset." When we read the Bible, we must look at the whole passage. Mark's account of Jesus' life moves very quickly. Jesus had been on task all day. He threw a demon out of a man at a synagogue, which resulted in a huge crowd forming. He traveled to his friend Peter's home and healed his mother-in-law who was sick. And then the crowd found Jesus. Recovery takes hard work. You can't decide you want to recover, but sit on the sidelines waiting for something to happen. You must know your responsibility and role. It's a step-by-step process that can't be rushed. Number 2, Jesus saw people. Look at what that passage states. He healed the diseased and demon-possessed in the people who came to him. Jesus knew who he was, fully God and fully man, and focused on the person in front of him. He didn't perform a general healing or crowdsource the answer the people needed. He met each one where they were. Jesus saw them, and he sees you today. To meet each person, Jesus never hurried. He remained present to the very last one. Not only do you need to be seen during the recovery process, but you must also see your husband. You and he have real needs, wounds, and expectations. You both matter. You can't skip through the wounds and perform sweeping healing. Address each issue with care and concern. Seek to hear and be heard. Listen well, and forgive as you wish to be forgiven. Number 3, Jesus connected to his source. Notice the timeline here. After sunset, when the people found him, to very early in the morning while it was still dark. Jesus didn't send the crowd home, climb into bed, and sleep as late as he desired the next day. His restoration came by getting some time alone with his Father. He knew connecting to God filled him more than mere sleep. His rest came from connection to his primary relationship, the other members of the Trinity. He found a place of quiet away from everyone else. One of the riskiest parts of recovery involves getting quiet. When we slow down, we'll feel those emotions that frighten us. And this unhurried examination of the wounds allows you to invite God into your pain and acknowledge you need his miraculous restoration. Number 4, Jesus refused to hurry. When I read this statement in this book, I put the book down. Was it true? Let's think back to that passage in Mark. The disciples searched for Jesus, and when they found him, exclaimed, "Everyone is looking for you." Can you imagine the shattering of Jesus' peace and quiet? Exclaimed connotes loudness. I imagine it as something like being asleep and the smoke alarm blares. Talk about a rude adrenaline rush. But immediately following this interruption, we see Jesus calmly suggesting a different plan. He didn't rush off to the crowd or get agitated. Instead, he offered a solution to serve others well according to his purpose and mission. Even though those who found him exuded urgency, Jesus didn't allow that monkey to jump on his back. Lasting recovery cannot be rushed or determined by another. I remember our restoration team telling us the average time to go through this process would be 18 to 36 months. The process could not be rushed. What a blessing it is to eliminate hurry from life. While reading this book, I remembered a quote, "The hurrieder I go, the behinder I get." No one knows where that quote originated, but I love its silly imagery. Hurry doesn't help accomplish my purposes or yours. It only increases the adrenaline coursing through your body. Hurry and recovery mix like fire and dynamite. You can try them together, but you'll probably ignite an explosion that causes more damage. Perhaps adopting Jesus' lifestyle provides the only lasting solution. Let's look at it again. Work hard. See the other person. Reconnect to your ultimate source. Refuse to hurry the process. Not sure how to recover from your betrayal wounds? I'd love to talk with you and help you find your path forward. Hop on over to KirstenDSamuel.com and click the blue button. Let's talk. Then I encourage you to pick up a copy of The Ruthless Elimination of Hurry. You'll discover, like I did, that Jesus' lifestyle creates freedom and space to live your victorious life.